Yeah, we're good to go.
Alright, cool.
Hey,
Don't too much on the
Montezir. Sorry, I wasn't looking at. I had meant to switch screens, but yeah, this is a face reveal for you, I guess. Since you tuned in on my regular gaming streams, but we are now live.
Cool. Let's get this party started. Awesome. Well, welcome to the One Piece reviews. We're in the land of Wano. We're gonna be talking about that today.
Detective Conan. We can knock those
Oh,
5 episodes out.
got it. All right. Well, let's do One Piece first. All right. Ready? Break. All right. So, in the last episode, we found out that Jack wasn't dead, and it was a big reveal. In this episode, in this next set of episodes, we find Luffy attacks Hold'em, and Jack is then called, and we basically during the fight we get to see one of Hold'em. We get to see Hold'em's sword. It's called a trick mechanism sword. It's like detaches. It's like blades on a string, and there's fire involved, which is kind of cool.
This is current One Piece Montezir.
What?
We're now on Wano. So second to the last or previous arc.
Yep. Anyways,
Just
this
responding
is
to the
episode
chat.
906 to 9 something, by the way.
I was just responding to the chat.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, Speed, who was a headliner for the Beast Pirates 8, was given the Kibi Dango, which is Otama's fruit power. She can tame beasts and stuff, and now she rides with the Straw Hats, which is kind of cool. And Law sees that, we see that Law stops Basil Hawkins, stops him from coming to town, and they kind of fight for a little bit. We get to see some of their moves, and Basil Hawkins is still boring like it was last time. One of the most boring characters ever. And they steal the food from the Paradise Farms, and they deliver it to the town, and everybody's happy. And Luffy is then, talking to the little girl, Otama, and he's like, by the time we leave this country, I'll make it a place where you can eat as much as you want. And that's his promise to her, and then she sees, like, Ace and Luffy, and she's like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. And then it is mentioned in one of the scenes, Zoro says Okiku is hiding something when she keeps tagging along with them. Hi, Kitty. And anyways, so we skip to where the flower capital is, and there's this teacher teaching class from students, and her name is Kurozumi Orochi, and she's teaching the kids all about Akazayu 9. And basically what this is these are the 9 people that were evil, and they wanted to open the borders of Wano, and keeping the borders closed protects the country. It correlates to what Japan did during the Sengoku period. or not the Sengoku, the Tokugawa period. And we learn all about them and how they, Mr. Orochi, the shogun, he defeated the evil Akazaya 9 and made the land of Wano prosperous. And then it like pans to like all this industrial stuff, and they made it like worse. Kind of funny. And then we get a little scene with this drunk guy. His name is Naping Kiyoshiru, and he's the Korozumi clan's money changer, and he tells about an omen, about a curse, about how 9 people are going to return in 20 years, and they'll see the moon will set, and the sun will rise after 20 years, or something like that. And we learn that the shogun is fearful of this curse coming true. And then randomly, Zoro has a fight with a tiger that has a sword in its mouth. Yeah, that happens. And then basically we get we are reunited with. We go see some graves or whatever, and the party is reunited with Kitamon and Momo and the others, and we learn that they come from the past, and we're like, what? And so this basically, then we get like a little flashback story, and it's telling of the story of Odin, how he was like some well-off dude, and he was bored, so he left, or he was rowdy, so like he got kicked out of his city basically, and he went to this town called Curie, which is lawless, and he came in and started fighting, and then he brought law to this place, and he made it a town and very prosperous. He became a daimyo at 20 years old, and we learned that this is where he meets Dog and Cat, and sometime later, and this was like 20 years ago, he's set up by Kaido and Orochi, and Odin's wife, what was her name? What was the wife's name? Crap. I know I wrote that down. But I didn't. Oh, right, that's where I wrote it down. Kazuki Toki. She had a time fruit, and she was able to send like these 9 people into the future, 20 years into the future, to have this prophecy come true. And it was basically foretold that she was born like a long time ago, and this is where her journey ended with the time travel fruit. We don't know if she's dead, but she delivered the curse message, and she was like, oh yeah, these 9 people will appear in 20 years, blah blah blah. And at first I didn't believe it. I thought like they were actually dead, and I was like, someone brought them back to life. But no, they time traveled into the future, because that's a thing. And it also makes sense, because they only came. It's still fresh in Kitamon and everyone's memories about Odin dying, and the castle being burned down that they were at, and like going 20 years in the future, they do not recognize the land of Wano, because there's nothing but factories everywhere. And then they tell the Straw Hats the story of like how they went to different places to try to get allies, and on their journey they met the Straw Hats and Law and other people along the way to help with this rebellion that they're going to use to save the land of Wano. And then at the very end of the story, Kinemon gives everybody new tasks. And then we learned about a plan that's to happen in 2 weeks. They plan to raid the island of Onigashima, and it's Kaido's island. And also we learned about these moon marks. They are a sign of rebellion on anyone who's loyal to the Kazuki clan. And we are also introduced to the Shinobu. She is a veteran kunoichi, which is a female ninja. And Nami gets the sexy ninja outfit. And she gets all mad at Kinemon because she thinks she's being a perv, even though Momo is literally being a perv right in front of her. So she slaps him, and he's like, no, there's only 2 styles. There's sexy and... what was the other word he used? It was like sexy and neutral, I guess. For the choices. Like stubby, I think that's what it was. Sexy and stubby, those are the choices for a female ninja. But that's where I left off, because I fell behind in watching these episodes. But next time, I guess we'll watch more. Let's see. What did I like about this? I did not see time travel happening. Nope, not at all. I was surprised by that. I think that's kind of cool. And just watching the propaganda from the teacher talking about, our Orochi is this amazing hero who thwarted evil, and that's why we're safe. And like the entire country is in like a state of disrepair, and everybody's like a slave and stuff like that, except in the capital. The capital is the only thing that prospers. So yeah, that was cool. We're still early in this arc, but maybe things will start going in emotion a little bit. It's kind of crazy how we see, Kinemon like 200 episodes earlier, and or maybe it's 300 episodes earlier, and all of a sudden now it's just like, oh yeah, now we're finally getting to his story and Momo's story, which is crazy. But awesome. That's all I have. Do you have anything you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
I don't. You covered pretty much all.
All right, cool. I guess we'll end it here then.
Now on to Detective Conan. This week we watched 5 episodes. One of them was an hour long one. Otherwise, we probably could have watched more. First off, being, let me show my screen. If it'll let me. The Mist Goblin Legend murder case.
The Mist Goblin?
It's the temple one.
The temple one.
With the monks.
The monk. Oh, that one. Got it.
I believe that the
This is the hour one, right?
what?
This was the hour one?
Yep. I believe that the name given, the something Tengu can be translated to mist goblin. So I think that's why that's what it's called. Yeah, the Kiri Tengu. That can be translated to mist goblin. So that mist goblin is just the English translation.
Okay, cool. Anyways, this one's pretty straightforward. They're going on vacation and they're up in a mountain somewhere. Their car gets a flat tire. They have to walk to a temple, and the head priest there mentions like, "Oh, I'm glad you're safe here in our place," and he mentions this Tengu thing. And he just like casually mentions it and mentions that there was an incident 2 years ago, and while they're staying there, people are scared of this demon creature, this Tengu thing, and in the middle of the night, you know, they scare the dad, and he's like, I'm scared, I'm scared, and then man, I gotta get some water. I'm thirsty, boy. These pretzels are making me thirsty. Hold on, I gotta grab some water. I mean, god damn. This water better be tasty. It is hot out. Hot. Alright. Okay. Oh, sorry for the delay, folks. I was thirsty. Alright, so, anyways, it's late at night, a lot of people straighten up, and it's discovered the next morning that there's a dead body, and it's the headmaster, and he is strung up in this giant tall tower thing. And they're like, oh crap, we are dying. Oh, this is horrible. And then it's soon revealed that it wasn't a suicide, it was a murder. And so they call in the detective guy.
Megara. Inspector Megara.
Yeah, the inspector. And he's like, he says to Ron's dad again, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, I just happen to be where all the fun stuff's happening. He's like, all right, whatever. And they question all the other priests that are there, and the people are about to say it's a suicide, and then after looking around and digging around, Conan figures some stuff out. There's even a part where he has to go down to a low point and look for some debris, and he finds it, and it's a clue. And we get to the part where instead of being knocked out, Conan knocks out the dad, but this time he's like, oh crap, my thing's broken. So he puts on this microphone on his forehead that amplifies his voice. It's like, don't worry, I will yell at you all from way up at the top of this tower. Everybody needs to go down to the bottom. And he tells them what happened. So basically what happened is the tower was flooded with water, and the killer, there was an inflatable raft, so the killer was able to get up there with this body and hung the body, and went down to the very bottom, took an axe, and cut a hole in the tower, and to drain the water to make it look like it was a suicide. And how they found out was they asked one of the guys and was like, "Hey, who screamed last night?" And the guy answered that Ron did it, but it wasn't her, it was the dad. And he's like, haha, you answered wrong because you were draining out water, so you couldn't hear anything at 3 in the morning. So the reason that this guy did it was because the head
Priest killed his brother in the same manner.
Yep, exactly.
Because he didn't want the brother to marry his daughter.
Yep, he wanted someone else who was gonna
somebody that was gonna inherit like a big good temple to marry her.
Yep.
This one was one that I remembered. I didn't remember the method, but I remembered the death and the Kiritengu from when I originally watched it 20 some years ago. This is the second 1 hour special after the Moonlight Sonata murder. And that's pretty much all I have for that episode. On to the mystery weapon murder.
The mystery weapon murder. Was this the Tai Chi guy?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. Basically, at this hotel, the gang is like walking by and they hear a scream. They first see a dead or unconscious bird randomly in the street, and then they hear a scream, and then they rush in and they find that some random dude is dead, and then there's 3 suspects. One guy who was golfing, another guy who was the ex of this dude, and another guy who was getting loans from this guy. And this guy was like doing Tai Chi outside, and someone hit him with like a plant or something. But that's not how he died. In reality, he died because of this one guy who pretended to go golfing. He also has a fish store, and the guy that died was a real estate agent. He was an asshole, and he basically put a metal weight at the end of a rod, and he cast the line out and hit him in the head, and then reeled in the line, and it made it look like someone else did it. And they're like, oh yeah, you're a master fisherman, so you know how to do this stuff. And he pissed off this guy by destroying one of his rods, like a prized rod. Like, bruh, don't be a dick. That's one of those few cases where I've been like, yeah, I would have killed him too. There's another one, I can't remember what it was. But some of these are like, yeah, I would have killed him too. Yeah.
Yes, I'd have to say some of them deserve what comes to them. That's kind
Yep.
of why because sometimes that they don't get arrested, but this wasn't one of those cases. But there's also one time that I know that you have mentioned this before, that there's sometimes that Conan will um, go by himself to talk to who he suspects is the perpetrator. I think that is partly because he just wants to give them a choice, like with the dentist,
Mhm.
that he wants to, like, he thinks that some of them are justified, and he just wants to give them a choice and not force them to go. If you know what I mean, if you understand,
Yes, I do. Yep.
or just to get from their own mouth, and then like you probably wouldn't care if they decided to not go to the police, or for some of them, like the dentist, because that was very justified. Like any time that's just like a parent or somebody normal that is just getting revenge is usually the case where he does that.
Hmm.
Uh, there,
Okay, next one.
yeah, there isn't anything else of note. The game company murder case.
Oh yeah, this one. This one involves like one of the black suit people.
The Men in Black is basically, or the Black Organization's basically what their simple name is.
Yep. Anyways, the black suit people is involved in this one when they're all invited to like a gaming
Convention.
convention, and they're all getting their suitcases checked in, and they get cut in front of, pretty much. And these three guys who went to college with each other are all working for the same company now. Um, they all have their, they all check in their suitcases, and then some time goes by, and Conan recognizes that this guy is a man in black, and he starts following him. He overhears him on the phone,
It
and he says
mentions
his
the
name is
name
Tequila.
Tequila.
Yep. And he's like, "Oh crap, this is one of the guys in the organization. Oh no!" So he starts following him, and then he explodes. Just everybody thinks it's spontaneous combustion, but then Conan Conan is like, "No, I think it was a suitcase because look at this little metal, what was it, metal symbol for the company." And he thought it was suspicious that someone that was supposed to get tag 97, 98, or 99 instead got the guy got 127 or something. So he's just like, that's suspicious. And so looking into it, Conan was able to figure out that it wasn't. There was a guy who made a deal with a man in black, and there was a crap ton of money in there. But it was another person who swapped um, the luggage with this other guy, and he put a bomb in it, He wasn't trying to kill the man in black. He was trying to kill another guy. And I think it was because he did that because he was stealing his ideas or something. I can't remember why he was doing it. Or like he was being a dick or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Does it say?
I'm looking.
Oh. Well, while he's looking, if you guys are enjoying this garbage, you should probably leave a like and subscribe.
It was because
find a mystery to solve around you, and maybe you'll be dead, or maybe someone you know will be dead. So don't do that.
it was because the intended target led one of their friends to suicide.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it. So he was getting revenge for their friend because the friend committed suicide after he dumped her.
Oh, got it.
That's what I thought I remembered, but I was just reading to make sure. And for the Detective Conan wiki, the whole resolution is always like very long paragraphs. That's why it took me a while to find it. This case featured yet another instance where Conan did not have to knock out Kogoro. Because Rand kicked him in the face. Right?
Yes, he did.
Because Conan accidentally shot the dart into Rand's butt.
Yep.
And then, or did he mention the second bomb?
There was no second bomb.
Yes, there was. At the very end.
Where?
Yeah, there was.
Oh, when he's going in trying to penetrate the Men in Black clan.
Because he gets a note, or he finds out where they're meeting, they're meeting, and he goes there, and then it explodes.
They were probably covering their tracks. That's what I believe.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's like, crap, this guy died, so we have to. And we were in association with this tequila guy, so let's blow up where we were working and move on.
Which that is a big part of the episode. You don't realize it, but it is. That's why you didn't remember. And this episode also featured the spoof of Nintendo, Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, the this in the anime, this is technically only the second time we've seen the Black Organization in the manga, because there's a few cases in the manga that it shows them, but in the anime they switched it to somebody not related to them, like the train bombing in the manga that was actually the related to the Black Organization. Then the one where the daughter hires Mori to find her dad, and then it ends up being thieves instead. The leader of that was in the manga, Black Organization member, as I mentioned that episode. So the anime omits them more, or a few times. And this was the first time we actually see another member in the anime.
Cool.
That's pretty much all I have to say about that. We'll learn more later. Now on to a stupid ad. The train trick murder case. This is one that
Oh,
Ed
no,
you
train trick.
confused.
Yeah, some of them get really confusing, but this one was basically there's like a doctors convention, and all these people are coming back from this said convention, and we see a couple of them getting into an argument, and one of them is like, "I'm gonna go to this other train. I don't want to talk to you." And while they find a body on a different train, and so this one is basically you have two trains going to Kyoto, I think it is, and they're it's like a couple stations. You're able to merge, and you can go back and forth. Excuse me, back and forth between the trains, and so while this was happening, this one of the doctors rushed to this other train, killed a guy, and then went back to the same original train, and he had an alibi. His alibi that he was on the original train the whole time, and it was weird that he had a bunch of like extra change in his um, wallet, like yen change, and it was thought that this guy died because it was a robbery. However, there was this like rich woman that was right next to him, so it couldn't have been a robbery. And this guy bought some stuff, and his bill was too big, so he got change in a bunch of coin yen. And so, to make it look like a robbery, he took all the coin yen, and what tagged him to it was that his finger, the lady's fingerprints would be all over this coin yen, and so he was caught, and he wanted to kill a guy because I don't remember why. It was like he stole his ideas or something. He stole like crap. Why did you want to kill him? This one I forgot too. This one I forget because I was so confused that I was just like yeah, get on with it. I don't know what you're talking about, but just get on with it. My brain was hurting after this one. I'm not trying to give an excuse, but that's an excuse.
His motive to be that the rumors about him receiving kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies are indeed true, and that Utsume had found out and blackmailed him for it.
That's right, he was blackmailing him. Okay. Right. Okay, next one.
So
What was this one?
I'm looking to see if there's anything. No, nope.
Was the next one the cleaning company?
Yep.
Okay. So this one at the beginning, there's a guy in an alley. He finds a harmonica on the ground, and he goes to pick it up, and he looks up, and there's an I-beam that's comes crashing down on him, and he dies. And so, just so happened at this, like, around the same time, Ron and Conan and the dad are all running, doing a morning run, and they just happen to see this murder take place, and they kind of rush over there like, oh my god, this is horrible, blah, 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 this happened. And long story short, the president of this company killed this other guy who used to be part of his company, or he is still part of this company, but he's like a director in the company. This other guy used to date his sister, and they broke up. So then she had to get another job, and then she died on the job. So he wanted revenge. Also, this other guy was trying to like start his own company, his own cleaning company, and he was gonna like take half the work crew. And how he did it was he tied a string or like a fishing pole string. No, piano wire. That's what it was. Piano wire to this I-beam, and at the right moment, he's able to manually control it. So he moved the camera to pull the I-beam to when the guy was underneath, and he was able to see the guy because on the truck that's always outside of the building, it has a mirror on it, and he was using that mirror to see the guy. But inconveniently, Ron and the other people were in the way of the mirror, so he wasn't able to. He wanted to wait for this guy to grab this harmonica, but because he didn't grab this harmonica, it became really suspicious. And so also, when he went to take off the piano string at the right moment, it recorded him being in the reflection of the building, showing him taking off the string of the thing. So he was caught by Conan. Nailed it.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Uh, yeah. That is all of note for that episode. And that was all of the episodes we watched this week. Hopefully we'll get to more One Piece next week. And hopefully we will get to more Conan. Next week is a little more difficult for me, but we can probably still watch some.
Yep. Should I have watched more One Piece? Yeah, I probably should have, but I was watching other things.
But once we're done with Wano, we're gonna switch it up a little. Since Egghead or the next arc isn't done yet. Maybe done by the time we are done with Wano, but we'll still do it this way. We're gonna roll the dice to see what we watch each week. Eventually, I'll put One Piece in there once Egghead is done, so we can watch that eventually. But we won't do it at a specific time. We'll just do it when we roll it. I figured that would be easiest, so we can stick to the rolling. And we aren't gonna do podcasts. We basically covered that last week or on Monday. Join us for Danganronpa probably on Monday. Part 4, where we'll give more characters awkward gifts.
And have them rejected.
If you missed it, we gave a girl a hand bra. Which was a bust of hands that, yeah, that cover the breasts like bras. To probably the main girl character, Sayaka. And she was not amused. That was our stream of the night. We will do on Monday, most likely. Good night, everyone.